Welcome to Concept Being the podcast, where the intention is well, but let's be for real. Life gets a little chaotic, and so do we. And that's totally fine. It's fine. You're fine. I'm fine. We're literally fine. And we're all about finding the balance while staying honest with health, wellness, and all the juicy topics that matter. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Concept Being the podcast, where the intention is well. My name is Jade, and I am the one and only for today. Actually, for the rest of the year, to be honest with you. Welcome back. Welcome back. I have some updates first. You're listening to this because I'm not dropping any visuals for this episode. I got my shit rocked, y'all. I really did. I'm literally laying down in my childhood bedroom right now, and my aura ring says that I have a nice little signs of symptoms. So looking forward to that. So I'm just trying to take it easy and tried to record the podcast visuals, and the universe was like, you know what, go ahead and lay down for me. So we are doing audio only, and I'm excited for that. And you're probably also like, I heard you say that you're in your childhood bedroom. The last episode, you were in Montenegro and you were hell bent on locking in. What happened to the great lock in? Story time, story time. But this all ties together because today's episode is about the concept of failure and failing through your transitions. I guess that is where we're at right now in life because I'm in the in between and things are not what I thought they would be. But you know what? We are leaning with it and we are rocking with it. So, story time, but also this episode is basically going to be one big failure moment. If you're a ongoing listener, you know that we typically kick the episode off with like a moment. So, usually like a grateful moment or a wellness moment or a failure moment. So, this one is just going to be one big failure moment, but make it cute. So, let's see. The last time I recorded, I was in Montenegro and I was locking in on the rest of the year because that is what the great lock in is all about. And I was really focused on being in the in between and just kind of trying to love myself through the transition of where I am at currently, which is basically just like a brand new spiritual entrepreneur. This is my first year being completely an entrepreneur and trying to figure out where I wanted to live. And it was just like a lot of transition, you know? And I won't lie to you, is very uncomfortable to be in a space where I'm just like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm kind of like trying things out, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. I'm trying to like keep my mind right and everything. And, also if you guys are longtime listeners, you know that I have moderate to severe anxiety. It is very not as like rocking my shit as it used to. I will say that like it has calmed down a lot, but every now and then it rears its cute little head. And I was in Montenegro. I was doing fine, you guys. And I had like a nice little routine going. Everything was good. My Airbnb was great. Like it was right by the water. I was like really reflecting. Like it was going good enough for me to feel comfortable to stay for one more month because that was like the whole goal was like 2 months. Like rock through 2 months. You got this, right? And so it came to the time in my trip where I was supposed to switch Airbnbs because I only booked the first Airbnb for a month. And then after that, I wanted to rebook it. I would have stayed in that Airbnb for 2 months, but they had someone booked after me. So I had to move. Long story short, I end up switching Airbnbs. I thought it was, you guys, I swear, I thought it was just the Airbnb that was like downstairs because it was like one big condo. And I thought I was just going to a unit like on the lower floor. And I was fine with that. Come to find out, the day that I'm supposed to move the all my stuff, it is not. It is actually an Airbnb with the same name, with the same layout and design, like the condo design and everything. I'm talking like same like interior, like you guys had to see it. It was like a loft, but like the lofts literally were decorated exactly the same. So I'm thinking, this is why I'm thinking, I'm just going downstairs. I was like, I'll just move my stuff like whenever. It's really not a big deal. The person, the Airbnb host, is like giving me the instruction. I was like, that doesn't sound like the Airbnb that I'm at. Go upstairs, put it in maps, Google Maps, and I was like, oh, that's because I'm actually going 10 minutes away. Got to the new Airbnb. Hated it. You guys, it was actually just like a really terrible day for me. I don't know what was going on. The universe clearly was just like, you know what? Either she's gonna rock through it or we're gonna break her. And spoiler alert, I got broken. I got my shit rocked. I had like an anxiety attack in like the new Airbnb and I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, wow, you know what? I was ready to power through for the next month in the other Airbnb. This new Airbnb, it's not really given, babes. It's really not. There were so many things that went wrong in that one day that I actually crashed out. I'm not gonna out, bought a new flight. That was one thing that like went wrong too. Like I had a flight in November to like come home. The flight that I had was supposed to be like 17 hours or something. That same day when everything was, and I'm gonna tell you guys all the things that went wrong. And you're gonna be like, either you're gonna be like, Jade, that is a terrible day, or you're gonna be like, you're being dramatic. I don't care. But one of the things that happened was that I got an update from my flight in November that my 17-hour flight turned into like a 34-hour flight because there was a nice little layover at nighttime. And I was like, get fucked, bro. What is this? Nah, couldn't be me. So at that point, I just like was not, I knew I was gonna have to change my flight anyway, just didn't know when. But that happened. I like went on like an excursion trying to find like this like really cool mountain roller coaster thing or whatever in Montenegro. And I'm talking, I drove all around. I must have drove through the mountains for like 2 hours trying to find this place. Mind you, I put it into Google Maps, and then I just kept on missing the exit. And I was just like, what the heck? And the thing is, I swore I knew where this place was. And I was like, it's like 15 minutes down the road, but Google Maps is telling me it's through the canyon, over the riverbank, all this shit. So I'm driving. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go to where I think it is. Put it into Apple Maps, get there, and oh, it's closed. And I was like, oh, okay. It was a windy day. I guess you can't do the roller coaster on a windy day. Drive back home took 15 minutes like I thought it was, but it took me 2 hours. But, anyways, that just lets you know where I was at because I was just exhausted. Get back to my Airbnb and I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and unpack things. I also have a sound bath that was coming up. Everything went wrong. The reason why I picked this Airbnb was because the internet speed was supposed to be phenomenal. Okay, I get there and I can't hardwire the internet. The lighting is shit. I cannot basically make this work for this sound bath, and the sound bath is a very important thing for me at this time. Always, every sound bath is important for me. And so I'm just like, I feel like I'm not going to be able to do my best for this sound bath. There's also a busy street right behind me, which I did not realize because, again, thought I was in the other Airbnb that was right next to the beach. There's a dog barking and there's construction work. Like, it's a sound bath. It needs to not be loud. That's like the one thing that is important. And I just crash out. I just crash out. And then I look at, so all of this happened, right? And I was just like, okay, we got to figure this out. And then I look over to the side. I look to my left, and you guys, I swear I see mold on the top of the ceiling. And I was like, now, one thing about me is that I have for sure been on mold TikTok. Not right now, because you guys know that I've logged out of TikTok, but before I somehow found myself on like hypochondriac mold TikTok, which I was like, this is fitting. So I am hyper aware of the side effects and like the symptoms of being around mold. And I was like, I don't have that in me, and I have a sound bath in 2 days, and I like need to be in like top shape, and I cannot be around mold. So I call Airbnb and I'm crying. I'm like, oh my God, this is just like a lot. I call the Airbnb lady. She was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that. I was like, what are we gonna do? She was like, don't worry, like everything's gonna be fine. I'm like, okay, girl. Um, I sent her a picture of it. I was like, is this mold? She was like, I actually don't think that's mold. And I was like, what? I was like, am I being dramatic? She was like, I don't think it's mold, but girl, if you think it's mold and you feel uncomfortable, like we can get you out. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna sleep here. I'm gonna spend the night here. Cause one thing about me is like, if something is wrong, I will wake up to it in the morning. That is just one thing. I don't know if I'm feeling okay right now. The next morning will tell me everything that I need to know. That I don't know what that's about. Something about sleep, it just allows things to settle within my body. And it's either a fuck yes or a fuck no. And I woke up the next morning and it was fuck you, girl. I said, yeah, so I'm gonna have to leave. Already booked a flight out, so we're good. We're good. Yeah, I'm leaving. I think that day was Thursday. I was like, yeah, I'm leaving Saturday morning. Thank you. Thank you. I already bought my flight out of Montenegro because that was a full on crash out. Like everything was going wrong at the same time. And I was like, I'm leaving. And I will not lie to you guys. I had like the hardest time coming to terms with this because I think I decided. So Wednesday, I found everything. Thursday was like, I'm out of here. I'm dipping. And once I decided I was dipping, I had the best day in Montenegro ever. I should have recorded that day. It was just, it felt like a vlog. It felt like I was in a movie. Like, I'm surprised I didn't fall in love with someone there too. Everything was just, it was just great. I just had a fun time. And I was like, what the fuck? What is going on? Now, all of a sudden that I'm leaving, now Montenegro is like, we love you. Have so much fun. Everyone's being so nice. Where was this? Literally the entire first month, but that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, am I making the wrong decision? Is this terrible? Am I going to regret this? And I have been deeply listening to my intuition and my body was just like, you're leaving too early. And I was just like, fuck. So I'm in like this weird place where my body is telling me one thing, but I want to do another thing. I knew I wanted to come home. I was like, I miss home. I want to be home. I want to wake up in my bed so bad. For some reason, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to tap out. I'm tired of holding it together. But my body is just like, Jade, just keep going. And I was like, am I going to regret tapping out so early? And honestly, I think I might, but I don't want to be here anymore. And that was a really conflicting feeling for me. I feel I should say, but I know I want to go. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that before, but that was not cool at all. And I kept telling myself, you know what? Whatever is meant to be is meant to be. You really can't mess up your transition and stuff like that. But I did feel like a failure. And I I had to come to terms with that. I had so many conversations with my friends, with my family. Like, everyone was like, you're not failing. Like, this isn't a failure. I disagree. I do disagree. And we can agree to disagree on this one because I've really sat with it now that I'm home. Like, before I left Montenegro, I kind of felt failure because I mean, I got there in hopes of like finding where I want to live and stuff and like really building out my business and come to find out that none of those things were going to happen for me there. And so everyone's just like, you didn't fail, like you tried it. And I know that we have this failure moment to normalize failing. It is important to showcase ourselves trying something and maybe not necessarily getting what we want. That was the whole reason of me coming up with the failure moment. And you guys, when it came time for me to be like, damn, I failed, I lost it. Like I was just like, bro, this is so sad. I was like a little bit embarrassed. Like all of these feelings were popping up. I was like ashamed of myself. I was just like, well, why did you waste so much time? All of these feelings started to pop up and all of these thoughts started to pop up for me. It just felt icky. I was just like, bro, what? You're 32 years old. You have a master's degree, you have all these things. How are you sitting in this transitional period right now and you feel like you're failing? This is not the Jade Barrett that I know. You're a star. But in that time, I did not feel like a star. And so when I got back from Montenegro, these feelings kind of just all built up on each other. And it just felt like so much was sitting on my shoulders. Cannot even explain to you, but something about like being home, although I wanted to be home, like I wanted so deeply to wake up in my bed. When I got here, I it got worse. Like I was just like I thought I was a failure when I was leaving. I feel even more like a failure now that I'm home. And I was just like, bro, did you pussy out right now? Like, are you serious? Like what's going on? And I'm talking full on dramatics. Like I'm sitting in front of my mom crying to her. Like I'm crying in the shower because that's my favorite place to cry. I'm doing all these things for a week. Mind you, I just got back last week and I just really could tell that I was like dipping into depression as well, like real hard, real heavy. And I just like had this moment. I want to say it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It was yesterday morning at probably 9 in the morning. I was like, bro, you need a fucking reality check. You need a reality check because I actually need you to be so fucking for real. what are you doing right now? You're sitting here, you're crying to your mom, just going through so many things. Oh my God, poor Jade. She literally traveled the world for a year trying to make her dream come true and came home to her beautiful home with your parents that love you so much. Everyone's healthy, you're fine, you're safe, and you're sitting here, you're crying, and nothing is wrong. What is wrong with you? I just like really had to be like, girl, this is actually diabolical work right now. You fine, you didn't get exactly what you want in exactly the time frame that you wanted. You tried something and it didn't work out the way that you wanted it to. And what did you do? You threw a fit. You threw a fit. I threw a fit. Like I threw like an entire hissy fit. Like I had to like take a step out of myself and be like, wow, if you were watching this happen right now, like you'd be like, girl, what? Like I get it, but like it's never that serious. It's being drama right now. And I had to take a moment outside of myself and be like, wow, if I was watching someone do this, I would be like, get a grip. Respectfully, get a grip. You tried, you failed, you move on. Instead, what was I doing? I was wallowing in it. Like, it was just so not hot. And I didn't love that for myself. And I think once I realized that, like if I put myself in someone else's shoes and was watching it from the outside, I would be kind of like embarrassed of the way, not that I failed. I wouldn't be embarrassed of the way that I failed. I would be more embarrassed about the way that I handled it afterwards. And so in this transitional period that I'm in, failures are going to come, just like wins are going to come. It is inevitable. I'm a fucking star. But you sometimes you got to try. Sometimes you shoot and you miss, right? And that's okay. But the way that you react to your losses to me tells me more about myself than the way that I react when I win, right? Because I'll be honest with you. I'm used to getting things when I want them. Like things typically for me go the way that I want them, if not better, right? It is about being patient and stuff like that, but for the most part, and I don't want to trigger anyone or anything like that because I was listening to a podcast that triggered me where I was just like, bro, shut the fuck up. But for me, respectfully, my life is not that difficult. And so I was just like, the moment that you don't get what you want, you were a brat. And I hate being called a brat, but I had to be honest with myself. I was like, you're being a fucking brat. And it's embarrassing. And you're in this transitional period and you're supposed to be learning about yourself. And it's supposed to be a very explorative time. And honestly, if anyone else would have got the chance to do it, they would have done it. But instead, you like had like this stank ass attitude about getting things when you wanted it and you didn't. And like, it was just like really like the energy was just really ugly. And like that was embarrassing for me. And so for myself, like I was embarrassed for myself. Like no one's been like, Jade, like get a grip. Everyone's been like, you need to be nice to yourself. You need to talk to yourself nicely. And I get that. Yes, I appreciate like the softness that I was getting from everyone. And I know sometimes I'm really hard on myself, but I think that I didn't need to be like hard on myself for the failure or whatever. Like I really didn't. Like fine, whatever, we can come to terms with that. But I think I needed to get real on like the way that I was reacting to these failures was ugly. I did not like that. In a transitional period, you need to love yourself through it. And that is one thing that I deeply realized. Like, I wasn't loving who I was. I was being like really stank about it. Like, I don't know how to explain that. And so I'm like in this transitional period, and okay, that's fine. Now I'm able to reflect and be like, you didn't love that about yourself. The way that you are able to kind of know who you are as a person is when you're in these periods that aren't exactly going exactly the way that you want them to be. How do you react? And I am grateful that I have the time to change because I realized, like, hey, Jade, you didn't love who you were, the way that you were reacting when you weren't getting what you want. Like, that was ugly. So now going forward, now that you realize that, how do we react better? Where you'd be proud of yourself looking back and be like, you know what? Maybe I didn't get exactly what I wanted when I wanted it, how I wanted it. And honestly, that's fine, but how can I be proud of myself and be like, but you know what? I handled that really well. Because right now, in this moment, looking back on the last year, I don't think that I did handle it well. I think I complained. I think I fucking threw a hissy fit. Literally was throwing myself on beds, crying. You'd have swore that I was widowed or something and my husband went off to the war and died. Bro, stand up. You're building a business and you're trying to figure it out. And I get it, but relax, dog, relax. So it's funny now that I'm able to come to terms with it, but I honestly really did need a reality check. And I'm happy that I was the one who was able to give me the reality check, because I think if anyone else would have told me, I would have been like, that like hurt me deeply. Like, bitch, get a grip. Like, I'd be like, not that I can't handle criticism, but like that would have hit me deep if someone like, bitch, you're acting like a real fucking stank bitch. So that's the theme for today's episode. Don't be a stank bitch. But no, for real, the theme is really transitions. And I think the biggest thing is like when you're in the transition, you do need to love yourself and understand who you are as a person and be proud of who you are as a person. And I just want to wrap this episode up on like one thing that I do deeply remember that someone told me that has popped back up into my memory, which is, let's say you're at different stages in your life right now. For me, let's say I'm in like fifth grade, right? And right now, today, I'm in fifth grade, but this entire last year, I was in fourth grade, okay? And in fourth grade, you don't know what's in fifth grade, right? You just don't know. But as a fifth grader, I should not be mean to that fourth grader that is still figuring things out. And I think as a fourth grader, I should have been more understanding to my fourth grade self of you just don't know. You don't know. And you can't be mad that you don't know what is going on in fifth grade. You're not in fifth grade yet. So relax. You can't just go around throwing balls at people's head because you're mad that you don't know what's going on in a fifth grade class and you're in fourth grade. Like, relax. Like, just relax in fourth grade. So basically, I think that that is where I'm at, where I'm just like, you were mean to yourself in fourth grade. Now you're in fifth grade and you can look back and be like, damn, I was a mean fourth grader. Let's be nice to ourselves in the fifth grade, love ourselves while we're learning through this transition. We're going to get to sixth grade eventually. There's no need to push it. The school year is going to happen regardless. So just learn what you can, love yourself as a fourth grader or fifth grader, or whatever grade that you're in, and just understand that when it's your time to get to the next place, it will happen. There's no need to push it. There's no need for you to be mean to yourself or be hard on yourself or have an ugly energy towards your current grade. There's no need. That's not helpful at all. So, because when you get to sixth grade, don't you want to be proud of the way that you acted in fifth grade? Because right now, I was a disgruntled fourth grader. Okay. So, with that being said, that is my transition story. That is my failure moment. Basically, I'm back in Southern California. I have paused my trying to figure out where I want to live thing. I'm not giving up, but I have just the need to recoup and regroup, and then I will figure it out. But if you've been following the journey, because I know you have, from when I like first had the episode earlier this year of like being a digital nomad and stuff, I will say I did figure out that I don't want to be a digital nomad. Baby, I need a home. Okay, I need a home. I am a Taurus. I don't know who I thought I was, you guys. I must have thought I was like some fire sign doing just fire sign shit, because I, no shade to fire sign. Yes, love it. I actually have a lot of fire inside of my chart, which you guys are probably like, "Wow, I didn't know that." Yeah, I have a lot of fire inside of my chart. A lot of earth, a lot of fire, not a lot of water. So that explains why I like to be by the water, because I'm missing it in my chart. Anyways, yeah, I need a cozy space. I need a cozy space. I need a home. I like to be able to have my own little place to come back to and stuff. And that is where I feel the most comfortable. And that is what I learned about myself. And it is really something that I am keeping in mind now that I didn't know before. In my head, I was just like, oh, I want to be a digital nomad. I want to be able to go wherever. I don't like living out of a suitcase. I really do not. You know what I do like doing? I do like going somewhere and then coming back home. Nothing's better than coming back home. So wherever that home is, we'll figure it out. But at this point in time, that's just where I'm at. I figured out I don't love being a digital nomad. I can work from somewhere for a little bit, but I do like a home base. So we're still figuring that out. And you know what? It's fine. It's gonna be fine. But yeah, that is where things are at right now in October 2025. We're still working through this transition, and I'm super excited for where this series is going to go. I'll be honest with you, when I was in Montenegro, this is not the way that I envisioned the series going for transitions, but for the first episode, this felt the most authentic to the experience. I think that I had structure in my head, and at that time I didn't picture the great anxiety attack that I was going to have inside Montenegro, and I was like, all right, well, we pivot. Bad bitches pivot. So that's what we did, and that's what we are doing right now. So, with that being said, you guys, I'm super excited for the rest of the year. I'm excited to see what great things come from it. I hope that you guys are feeling good. I'm not gonna lie, I am a little bit sick, under the weather, but you know what? We're not gonna let it keep us down. But you know what? One last thing. If I'm gonna be sick, I'd rather it be in my home than in some random Airbnb in some random ass country. So, yay. Yay on that. Anyways, with that being said, you guys, I hope that you have a great day or a great night, and I hope that you are well. And make sure to share this episode, share the podcast with people so that they can listen and, just really resonate with where we are right now as Concept Being. All right, guys, bye. Love ya.